Hello and welcome to this introduction to uploading a CSV spreadsheet into Motimate. This allows you to create users, groups and positions in bulk via a spreadsheet upload. While you can create users, groups and positions in the Motimate settings you see here, it's often far easier and quicker to get started by using a spreadsheet. You can then update users, change their settings and everything like that in the Motimate settings here, but it's a great starting point in the spreadsheet. Now, there are a couple of things to bear in mind. I touched upon the group structure in a previous session, but to re-emphasize, this is quite important as it allows you to assign training based on a user's departments. So you can, for instance, in this case, assign training to the marketing department, just training that's relevant to them, or to specific teams within the marketing department. For instance, if there's something that's relevant for marketing EMEA that isn't relevant for APAC, you can assign it to them. Or you can assign training to the whole organization at the top, and that will assign to everyone. This is also important for reporting, so you can see how well is marketing APAC doing with their training in comparison to marketing EMEA. And positions, they're also important. It's another way of assigning training. So you could say, for example, all users, so all positions in marketing will be assigned a specific training, or just marketing managers in that team will be assigned that training, for example. So now I'll move over to the spreadsheet so you can see how to create all of this and upload the structure. So all of this will be created for you. So here's the spreadsheet. What I'll do is I'll go over the information that you need to update and the format and what the different fields mean as I go along. So to begin, you have the employee ID here. This is a unique identifier for each user that you upload into the system. This could be the employee ID that you have in your HR system, but often if you are using, for instance, single sign-on through Microsoft Azure, it would be the email address of the employee, because that would be the UPN in that case. But it can be the employee ID, it could be the email, it could be whatever unique value that you choose to use. This is also often used to log in into Motimate. In this case, I'm just going to use an email address, support@motimateapp.com. Next, we have the first name and last name. So I'm just going to do this. Teresa Gunnarsson. And then we have the phone number and the email. Now, what's important to note here is that you can set the phone number or the email to be optional values depending on how you choose to invite users. So if you choose to invite users via SMS, then you would only need to enter the phone number. You could still enter the email, but it would be optional. And it's the same the other way around. If you choose to invite users via email, then you wouldn't have to enter the phone number. So when entering the phone number, it's important to include the full number, including the country code and the plus sign at the beginning. So you would need to format this column to ensure that when you enter the number, the plus sign is at the beginning. For example here, I'm just going to enter phone number, and that's the format you would need to use. No spaces, no other symbols in that at all. Next, I'm going to enter an email address. I'm just going to use the same one that I used before. So now, if I were to upload this spreadsheet, this user would be created, which is great. However, they would not be assigned to a group, and they would not have a position assigned at this point. So this is something that we need to add to that user. So if you want to add a position, there are two fields here: the position import ID and the position. So the position import ID, that's an internal ID that we use in Motimate to ensure that positions aren't duplicated. So you could do something like, let's say, marketing manager. Now in the import ID, it's important that you use this format. Everything must be lowercase and no spaces. You can use underscores, for example, you can use numbers, but typically something like this works well. Then in position, this is the name of the position, so it's what you would see in the front end in Motimate. So I'll just put it as marketing manager. And then moving along to the right, you can see it's a similar format for the next section, which is the level 2 group name. So what does it mean when it says level 2 group? A level 1 group is the organization. So in this case, it is Motimate CS, that's the name of the company, and the level 2 is the department that is right below that in the organizational structure. So in this case, I would call this one marketing. You can see it's the same format here, so the level 2 group import ID is in lowercase and no spaces, and the same format with the group name. This is just the name, so it can be whatever you want, but I'm just going with marketing for now. And you can see another field here. This is level 2 role in group. What that means is it allows you to determine what role the user has in this specific group. So whether they're a member, just a normal user who takes training, or if they're an admin. So that would typically be a manager of a team who wants to see reporting for their team. So to set someone as a member, you just select 0, and to set someone as an admin, you enter 1. That's as simple as it is. And now you can see there are more groups that you can add in. You've got level 3 group, import ID, level 4 group, and so on. So in this case, when you fill in the groups, it's just going to build out this part of that group structure. So I'm going to add in another group. Let's do marketing underscore EMEA, then marketing EMEA, and I'll enter the role in the group. And this will build a structure similar to what I shared with you before. So you'll have the organization at the top, then beneath that you'll have marketing, and then beneath that you'll have marketing EMEA. So that's how you create a user, give them a position, and add them to a group. Users can also be in multiple groups and can also have multiple positions. So you can add them in the sheet several times and just add in their relevant groups. So in this case, I have this example that I created earlier. So we can see if I, for example, format this, if I sort this a bit differently, you can see we've got Bugs Bunny at the top, all of his details, his position, his group. So this is a new group at the top of the structure called customer support. Then you have Buzz Lightyear beneath him. And you can see he has two positions, social media manager and Marketing Manager. So both of those will be assigned when you upload this spreadsheet. And you can also see he's a part of the marketing team and Marketing APAC. And if you also wanted to add him to another team, for example, so in this case, we could just enter customer support there. And he would also be a member of that group. And don't forget to add in the role in the group either. So that's very simply how that works. A really good way for you to use this is if you have a database of your employees, you can export an Excel sheet that matches this format. Then there are a couple of things you can do. You can either send the spreadsheet to support@motimateapp.com and we'll upload that for you. Or you can set up an integration using SFTP, which stands for Secure File Transfer Protocol. So you can upload this straight to our server and keep everything up to date. So you would have full control. You can also automate that process if you have the resources on your end so that everything stays up to date all the time. But I'll go over how to upload the spreadsheet via SFTP in the next video. Thanks.